where do we go? Days when the rain came, laying down in hollow, playing a brand new game. Breakfast with Bob, oh yeah.
Poncho Man, Friday edition, Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, by Hoka One One, by our good friends at Polar, Osca Wellness, VeloFix, and we have our championship edition at Four Seasons Hualalai on Sunday, and we are airing on triathlonworld.com. With us now, the silent assassin, Mr. Kevin Collington. How you doing, Kevin?
Good. How are you doing, Bob?
Did you know you were the silent assassin?
Not until yesterday when I watched Matt's interview. So.
Matt Dixon labeled you the silent assassin, and I'm still not quite sure what the heck that means.
Yeah, neither am I, but I'll take it.
So take me back, since we really haven't chatted that much before. Growing up, what were your sports?
I was a swimmer growing up my whole life.
And where'd you grow up?
Orlando, Florida.
Okay, so swimmer in Florida.
Yep.
And did you get through high school, through college?
Through high school, and then I went to University of Florida, and I ended up just joining the triathlon club there instead of swimming.
So a Gator.
Gator, yeah.
Big time Gator.
Yeah.
Okay, so become a Gator Triathlon club, and that led to ITU?
Yeah, there was a guy who was racing ITU there, and I ended up training with him a lot, and he told me I should get into the U23 ranks, and then I ended up doing that, and I got hooked, and I was just racing around the United States on the Continental Cup circuit.
Yeah.
Now
Pretty
I'm
fun?
here. Yeah, it's definitely fun, like just a developing pro type thing.
What did you gain from that ITU experience that helps you when you step up the longer distance?
Well, I think it's like the racing instincts that you end up picking up, because you see a lot of guys come over and have success here,
right.
And like you have everything dialed in, like transitions down to like the millisecond,
yes.
And like just the explosive power, the racing instincts, the reading the race. You really pick up a lot of that in ITU.
The details.
Yeah.
What was your first longer distance or non-drafting race?
First non-drafting race was St. Anthony's a long time ago. It was an hour drive from my house in Orlando.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And did you feel at the time that, you know what, after doing some non-drafting, that might be better for me than the ITU?
I started to get the sense that it might be better when I did my first 70.3, and it was a lot like the distance was more manageable for me, even though it was longer.
Yeah.
I think I get better as the race gets longer. So I started to just look into doing Clearwater Worlds back when it was in Florida. So
yeah.
That's kind of where I got started with long distance.
Did you do Clearwater Worlds?
I did a couple times, yeah.
Wow, because that was a fast course.
Yeah, fast course. I think that was the original 70.3.
It was, and that was probably as close to an ITU type of race,
yeah.
because it was really hard to enforce drafting out there because it was so tight and so flat.
Being in November, we had a lot of ITU athletes doing it anyways. So.
Right. So talk a little bit about when you're doing the 70.3. Did you have success at it right away?
I think my first race, Augusta 70.3, I got 7th, and I didn't really know whether that was good or not. I mean, a 7th at an ITU race I would have been over the moon. But,
yes.
It was just sort of getting my feet into the water, and I felt like, I could handle the distance better. So, yeah.
So this year, or this last couple years, but especially 2 wins in a row, Busan 70.3, South Korea, and Challenge Iceland.
Yes.
Talk about the two little diverse in terms of backdrop for an event. You're in Iceland and you're in freaking Korea.
Yeah.
What was those races? What did you like about those races?
Well, South Korea was I've raced there before at a WTS race, but I saw it on the schedule and it looked like it was a good date to race, so that's why I ended up going over there to do it. But it was a great course, but it was raining on the day, so like it ended up being like really dicey out on course, and just it ended up stopped raining. It stopped raining, got really hot.
Yes.
And so it was just like 2 different climates in one race. And then Iceland was raining as well, but it was a cold rain. It's like freezing summer rain there. So yeah.
So you win both of them.
I did. I didn't expect to win Iceland. I sort of expected to have a chance to win Busan, but Iceland was a surprise.
And what was the distance time-wise between? It was a couple weeks, or?
That was those were 6 weeks apart.
6 weeks apart.
Yeah.
Okay. And the rest of your season, 6th 70.3 Monterey and 4th in St. George. I mean, that's impressive because that's a pro race. I mean, that's pro championships.
Yeah. St. George was that was probably one of my best results of the season, just because I had a great cycling. I think 1 through 4th were the 4th fastest bike splits of the day.
Interesting.
And like I'm never up on the higher end of the bike splits, so it was really great to see like sort of all my work paying off there.
And you're still young. What are you, 25-ish?
Well, no, well thanks, but no, I'm 32.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've been in the sport a while. Yeah.
Wow. So you got into the sport. How old?
I was 21 when
21
I
you got
yeah,
in. So you're already you're an 11-year veteran.
That's right, yeah.
Never would have guessed that.
Oh,
That is amazing. Third at Ironman South American Championships in Brazil. That's a
Yeah.
huge race too.
yeah. So that's where I qualified for Kona, basically. I got most of my points there.
Okay. Coming into this race, seemed very relaxed.
Yeah.
Like a silent assassin should, right? You
right.
come into this race. This is only probably the greatest field ever assembled.
That's right.
You've got starting with Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle and moving right down. Do you even concern yourself with those guys, or you look at it, my first time here, taking the sights. Obviously, I'm here to race and do well, but I don't really feel much pressure.
Yeah, I don't feel any pressure at all, to be honest. Like, I try not to look at the start list because
Yeah.
that actually makes me a little freaked out.
Yeah.
But I figure I'll get out there and I'll have a front group swim if I swim to my potential, and then
Yes.
I'll just sort of look around and see who I'm with and see how my legs feel and just try and read the race and have my best race on the day. But I'm hoping, I think I can do well.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think anybody expects much of anything from me. So the silent assassin, yeah.
I like that a lot. And the interesting thing about this race, I think, is we talk heat and wind, and obviously with you go from Iceland to Korea, you understand how to deal with heat. You need to understand how to deal with all sorts of conditions. But the field here is what is
Yeah.
the biggest change, because when you're on the bike, where it might have in the past been 2-3 guys, maybe 4,
Yeah.
you're going to have 20.
Exactly.
Right? Especially you're in the front pack. There's going to be 20 guys all trying to be in a legal position.
Yeah.
And if you're in 17th or 18th back there and someone makes a move up front, all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
So this is a lot more tactical race than probably, I'm guessing, anything you've done besides ITU.
Yeah, definitely goes back to ITU days and even Clearwater 70.3 back when it was the world champs. Just having to stay 12 meters apart. And I mean, the closer to the front you are, the better you can react to any moves that are made. So definitely going to be tactical for it. I mean, it could be the whole bike ride, could be the first 120K, but Matt's talked me through it all. And so if my legs are good, I hope I can react to some attacks.
What is Matt's? What are his suggestions to you for race day?
Well, he told me to stay near the front. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly, I think everybody wants to stay near the front. So not everyone can be at the front, but I'll just have to see what I can do and on the day and just kind of see what my legs give me.
When you look back at your ridiculously long career since you were 21, what do you look at as the most important races that you've done? The ones that basically confirm to you that you're heading in the right direction?
Probably St. George in 2013. I was second there to Brent McMahon.
Yes.
But I was the first American, and that was when it was the U.S. championship.
Yes.
So I got a U.S. championship, and that was my first good long course result.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, okay, I think I can, do this actually professionally and especially long course. Like, I think this is sort of what I'm built for. And even going back farther from that, collegiate national championships back in 2007 as a gator.
Yes.
I won that, and that was a huge surprise. Didn't expect to even be like near the front. So that was another one.
What was your first full?
First full was Arizona last year, November.
Any surprises?
Well, I was surprised to come off the bike 29 minutes down from Andrew Starkowitz. So, so I mean, it was quite an experience.
That's raining. An eye opener.
Yeah, again raining. He just drilled it off the front, and I was like, I'm 4 miles behind Andrew Starkowitz starting the run. So, just to see how hard those guys ride in an Ironman, even though it's 180 kilometers.
That's the one thing that I've heard from Jesse Thomas and a number of the other pros. Joe Gamble said this as well, that it's a bike race. I mean, these guys are out of the saddle for an Ironman, right? People are riding it like it's a 40K.
Yeah.
It's a different game on the bike than it was 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Like, they ride the first 40K like it's an Olympic and the first 90K like it's a half, and then just see what they have left sort of for the run. And I mean, the guys who can deal with that are the ones who you see come through on the run, and they're able to handle the whole race.
Right.
I think you see a lot of blow-ups here every year.
Yes,
and,
you do.
I think that's from going a little too hard on the bike. So.
You know what's interesting is I had Jim Vance in here today, and he always stands at mile 1 and gets people's first mile split, and then he gets their mile split for their average for the race. And most people in that first mile run 5:40 off the bike, and then they're averaging basically 7 minutes for the run.
Yeah.
So people tend to go a little nuts. If you with Matt's a tech guy.
Yeah.
Have you looked at some data and trying to figure out where you want to be?
Yeah, I think I even mentioned that stat to him, Jim Vance's first mile split, and it's crazy how fast you can get worked up to run. I mean, I've never done the race, but I've seen it happen, and so he told me just don't do that.
Don't
really,
do that.
Yeah,
That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
That's right.
Don't do that.
That's right.
Well, you look at guys like a Bart Arnott, the guys who are steadiest and stay closer to what their overall pace is during that first mile usually outlast the other guys because people go, they feel like they're going to win the race in the first 5K.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
Everything is, the Leahy drive, I think it's real easy to get just
Oh, you haven't
excited.
seen people in 5 hours.
I
And
know.
all of a sudden there's thousands of people cheering. What are you going to do? Run
Yeah.
slow? No
Yeah.
way.
And then the opposite end of the spectrum out in the energy lab where there's no one again. So
Yes.
those might be some dark moments for people out there. But I'm just guessing. I'll find out tomorrow.
So when you look at this as, it's the first opportunity to sort of make a name for yourself at the most important race in the world, finishing top 10, would you be happy with that?
Oh, absolutely. Like, if I get top 10, I'll be the
moon.
The second happiest guy on the island, probably behind the guy who wins.
The guy who wins, yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be great. But I'm just going to kind of see where I stand. 58 guys who, I think there's 57 who might be ranked higher than me or in people's rankings. So,
right.
I'm just going to go out, and if I surprise people, that'll be great.
Rankings are pretty funny, but they mean absolutely nothing because on race day, it's such a different game. And we've seen, and what we don't know is who's injured, who's sick.
Yeah.
People keep their cards close to the vest, so you don't know. And I think you're doing exactly the right thing. You just race for you.
Yeah. It's just like any other Ironman. I think it'll be, on the run, a lot of a personal race. Like,
yes.
The bike obviously will be more strategic, but yeah, you find out how everyone is the day after the race, how they were going into it.
Kevin, thanks so much for taking time. Hey, best of luck, Silent Assassin.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
Poncho Man, come on back in here.
Whatever happened? Tuesday, slow, going down the Oma. Transistor radio with you. Breakfast with Bob. Oh, yeah.
And Poncho Man.